As we look at Genesis and Revelation, we find an interesting contrast. In Genesis, we have the earth created. In Revelation, the earth passes away. In Genesis, we have the sun to govern the day. In Revelation, there's no need for the sun. Darkness he called night in Genesis. There's no night there in Revelation. The waters he called the seas. There is no more sea in Revelation chapter 21. In Genesis, we find a river for earth's blessing. And in Revelation, we have a river for the new earth. The earth's government is mentioned in Genesis 37, and we have the earth's judgment relative to Israel in Revelation 16. Man is made in God's image in in Genesis, and man's headed by Satan's image in Revelation. We have the entrance of sin in Genesis. We have the end of sin in Revelation 21. The curse is pronounced in Genesis, and there is no more curse in Revelation 22. Death enters in Genesis 3, and there is no more death in Revelation 21. We have a man driven out of Eden in Genesis 3. And we have man restored in Revelation 22. And that's the climax that God alludes to in chapter 3 as he declares war on Satan. Tree of life is guarded in Genesis 3. What is he guarded by the way? A cherubim. Why? What's he there for? To keep Adam out? It wouldn't take a cherubim. A normal angel would have been plenty. What was that angel guarding? The way of the tree of life. Who is he guarding it from? Another cherub, huh? We'll talk about that next time. The right to the tree of life. The tree of life is guarded in Genesis. The right to access it is returned in Revelation 22. Sorrow and suffering enter the world in Genesis 3, verse 17. There is no more sorrow in Revelation 22. Nimrod founds Babylon in Genesis 10. Babylon falls in Revelation 17 and 18. And I'm one of these that's beginning to believe that the Antichrist will come out of Assyria. He is called by Micah, Isaiah, and Ezekiel the Assyrian. I think it's going to be Nimrod, not literally, but in effect, Nimrod returned. God's flood destroyed the entire evil generation, chapters 6 through 9 in Genesis. Satan's flood to destroy the elect generation is attempted in Revelation 12. We have a bow, God's promise in Genesis 9. We have a bow for remembrance in Revelation 4. Sodom and Egypt typify the corruption and judgment in Genesis 13 and also 19. And Sodom and Egypt is an allusion to Jerusalem, strangely, in Revelation 11. We'll sort that out when we get there. A confederation was put together against Abraham's people. In Genesis, there's a confederation versus Abraham's seed in Revelation 12. There's a bride for Abraham's son in Genesis 24, and there's a bride for Abraham's seed in Revelation 21. The marriage of the first Adam is in Genesis 2, and the marriage of the last Adam in Revelation 19. Man's dominion ceased and Satan's begun in Genesis 3, verse 24. Satan's domain ended and man's restored in Revelation 22. One integrated design from Genesis to Revelation. The New Testament is in the Old Testament concealed. The Old Testament is in the New Testament revealed.